This has to be one of the best looking 427 street cars in existence. From what we know, really only 2 cars came with factory installed roll bars. This car is one of them. As far as green goes, probably 56 cars were green. And as far as the hood scoop option goes, again, only a handful came with the hood scoop, making this probably one of one as it sits in this configuration. When you think of the big block Cobra, you think of the roll bar, you think of the hood scoop, but this is probably the only one that came with the hood scoop and the roll bar from new. With the roll bar being the factory option and the hood scoop being the dealer installed option. The ownership history of this thing, almost second to none. The original owner owned this car up until 2012 when he sent it to the Shelby American Museum where it was sold there. Then the second owner did this mind-blowing restoration. I mean, just absolutely killer. Not only is this a killer quality restoration, but I'm told the car is extremely well sorted. Every little bug has been worked out and that I should definitely go and drive this thing. As far as cars go, I mean, the thing checks every box. Just how rare these 427s are. I mean, there was only 260 street cars built. You know, Shelby started his racing effort with the 289s, lightweight car. So he realized going forward, Ferrari was obviously going to step up their game and that he needed to as well. Through the prototype process, he realized he was going to have to stick a bigger engine in the car to make more horsepower. They gave these cars a brand new designed frame with larger diameter tubing. They gave the cars independent suspension. And as far as the bodies go, they gave it much wider flares. And the only thing they really kept the same as the 289s were the doors, the hood, and the trunk lids. Shelby was already thoroughly involved with Ford in the GT40 effort, so there really were only 2 427 team cars. The rest were raced by independents, and about half of the comp cars, they were turned into SC cars, semi-comp cars. As far as this car goes, I mean, we've got all the documentation. It's unbelievable. We've got the original bill of sale. We've got a letter from the original owner through the dealership to the factory, you know, saying that he wanted the competition roll bar, he wanted the car in green, he wanted the competition hood scoop. You know, we've got the original check, all kinds of documentation. This car really just has no excuses. Look under the hood here. I mean, the quality of the restoration is just self-evident. You could eat off of any part of this car. Just gorgeous. As far as the look goes, I mean, everyone loves the green. Common misconception, the 427 green is actually a different color than the 289 green. And with all the 427s, black interior, the 289, you could have different color interiors, but 427s, you had one choice, you know, kind of classic Ford as long as it's black. Rounding out that tough look is the magnesium Halibran wheels. If you got the knockoffs, when they restored the car, they took the liberty of swapping out the shocks, putting on the Coney shocks, what was on the comp cars of the time. Just really wanting to make this car handle super well. One of the iconic differences between the 427 and the 289 is the shifter. You know, it's got this big lean on it. With the transmission being so far back, they had to have that big lean on it. Some guys complain about it, some guys don't. Frankly, I kind of like it. As far as an investment goes, these cars have always been a pretty strong investment. You know, obviously you've got to love a car if you're going to buy it. But for example, I mean, these things were roughly around $6,000 new. A great car by the time 2011 rolled around was $1 million, and they've just continued to go up from there. And who knows what these things are going to be worth 20, 30 years from now. I mean, certainly with only 260 of these things built, the scarcity is there, the look is there, and definitely the fun factor when you're driving one of these cars, that'll never change. Everyone tells me that this is one of the most well-sorted and best driving Cobras they've ever been in. So it would be a crime not to take this thing out at least for a quick spin. So these are always such a tight squeeze. The wheel is always so low to your legs, but once you're in it, oh, it just feels like home. Obviously the quality of the car is just second to none. I mean, just a perfect restoration. You fire the thing up, it starts right away, and the car sounds so crisp. It shifts beautifully, easily goes into reverse, all the way up into fourth gear. Let's get on it a little bit here. Oh man. You know, such a well-sorted car, such a beautiful restoration. It's one of those cars that you could just buy it, take it straight to a concourse, win the blue ribbon, and then drive it 1,000 miles home without a hiccup. Oh yeah. This thing's a weapon. It certainly helps that it's below zero. This thing's making all kinds of power right now. It is a crispy drive out here. This is one of the best sounding Cobras I've ever driven. So much power. I mean, you could just leave this car in fourth gear, step on it, and it pulls as much as you could ever ask for. And the brakes, it really does stop well. And just turning the car around, I mean, you know, oftentimes these cars are a little bit of a bite to get into reverse, but this car is so well sorted. What a treat. Oh my goodness, you just spin the tires in third gear. You know, every time I get into a 289, the car feels fast, but then you get into one of these things, it doesn't weigh much more, and man, it just pulls. We should probably put this thing away. my hands and ears are getting cold. But man, car makes good power in this cold, crisp air. So now we have to ask ourselves, do you need a car like this? No, no one needs a big block Cobra. Do you want a car like this? Well, if you want a factory roll bar car, dealer installed hood scoop, big block Cobra in the beautiful green, yeah, you want a car just like this one.